UFC Macau just wrapped up like several hours ago. The main card started at like 6 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Time, Canada, North America. Um, it's now approximately 3 p.m. Eastern Time, so it's been a while since, time has passed since the card. But I just want to say this was a pretty good card. It lived up to the hype. We saw a lot of finishes on here. I mean, the main event was amazing. I'm going to get to that very soon. Great performance by Yan Xiaonan. I think we saw like three. I think, so how many fights? How many fights were on the main card? One, two, three, four, five, six fight main card. So three finishes, three decisions. But all I gotta say is, Wang Kong, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Wang Kong, the female Alex Pereira, the girl that everyone was hyping up as Valentina Shevchenko's boogie woman, gets clubbed and subbed by a bum. Gabriela Fernandez, who was like 1-2 in the UFC and has like how many losses? Like, I can understand if this happened against a top level opponent. This was an unranked fighter who's not any good, and she was there to make Wang Kong look good, which she was looking good. But Wang Kong manages to let herself get stunned by a head kick. Then, like an idiot, what does she do when she gets head kicked? Does she take time to recover and back up and circle a little bit, keep a tight guard? No. Instead, she gets up and starts swinging for the fences. Instead of trying to recover, she goes out swinging, gets dropped, and then instead of trying to just lay down, control the guard, control the posture, she panics, rolls over, gives up her back, and gets choked out by a 1-2 bum. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. This would never happen to Alex Pereira on the come up, but this just shows how shitty women's MMA is. Wang Kong was never a threat to Valentina. She beat her a long time ago. Wouldn't happen again. And Val wouldn't even need grappling to win this fight. She'd easily beat her on the feet. You're getting dropped by a head kick by Gabrielle Fernandez. Valentina's got great head kicks. She would do the same thing and would probably drop and submit her too. That was just embarrassing. Good performance leading up. Watching the fight, though, I was surprised this fight went into the second round. I'm like, wow, she's really not going to finish her, is she? Because I've known Wang Kong to just be that kind of girl who smokes her opponents in the first round, right? She gets like these quick, brutal finishes, right? She doesn't finish Fernandez in round one, which, is kind of understandable because Fernandez was being a little bit cautious, keeping a tight guard, fighting on the back foot, fighting defensively responsible, I guess. I guess that explains it. But I was watching that thinking either it's only a matter of time before Wang Kong eventually catches her, or Wang Kong is just going to bully her to a decision, which I thought it was headed to that direction. But sure enough, a head kick lands, but that's because Wang Kong is extremely stiff, no head movement, keeps her hands low, and because she's undefeated and because she had that confidence of having a win over the current champion, which was like 10 years ago, she completely underestimates her opponent. I know Gabriela Fernandez is a bum, but at this game, at this level, you got to respect everybody. And she had complete disregard for Gabriela Fernandez. And as a consequence, she ends up losing. And yeah, now she's got to live with that. She's got to live with that embarrassment, that embarrassing loss. And now she'll never be anything in the division. She's 32 and got set back so far. She's going to have another long road to climb before she can even talk about getting a ranked opponent. And then even if she does get a ranked opponent, like, does she beat anyone in the rankings? Hell no. You're not beating Gabriela Fernandez. You're not beating Jazz the Vizius. You're probably not even beating Tracy Cortez. You're not beating Karine Silva, Vivi Araujo, Natalia Silva. I'm not even going to pull up the rankings right now. I mean, I could. I just don't want to change tabs and Google up the UFC rankings. But yeah, she's not going anywhere in this division. She's just known as the girl who had that one win over Valentina ages ago. And that's all she's ever going to be known for. Yeah. Unlike Alex, I guess Wang Kong's going to be that girl who's going to be in the bar watching Valentina saying, I beat that girl one time. But anyway, let's move on. So Song Kanon gets knocked out by a spinning back kick from whatchamacallit, Muslim Salikov. No surprise here. I picked Salikov to win that fight. I was also right about Ulberg. Volkan, I was hoping we'd see a finish in that fight, but Uzdemir is a pretty tough guy to get out of there. And he's dangerous, and Ulberg had to be very cautious. He did what he needed to do to win the fight, so good on Carlos. And I guess he's going to further advance up the top 10 in the division. He's not getting no title shot, though. I'd say the fight to make for Ulberg is maybe Khalil Rountree. And then Yan Xiaonan also looked... Yan Xiaonan looked amazing. Yan Xiaonan looked great. She looked spectacular. Nothing short of spectacular. And I knew she was going to do this to Tabitha Ricci. Tabitha Ricci is a bum. She beat Angela Hill. Who cares? Who can't beat Hill? And she robbed Tisha Torres. Yan Xiaonan would convincingly beat Tisha Torres. Yan Xiaonan has gotten so much better from that loss to Carla Esparza. Everyone knows she beat Marina Rodriguez. And I'm glad that Yan Xiaonan didn't turn out to be one of those people who is known for doing good against the champ, but that's their only claim to fame. Usually, fighters who have done well against the champion by either taking them to close decisions or having big moments, they go on to lose to like the next contender and then turn out to be nothing. Like Dominic Reyes, to name a few, Alexander Gustafsson kind of. That's kind of the John Jones effect. I can't really think of other examples off the top of my head where it's been that way. But I was worried that would happen to Yan Xiaonan, but it didn't. And she had the perfect dance partner to look good. And she called out Zhang Weili after, which is a good call out, but I don't think she's going to get the rematch just yet. Either what's going to happen is Verna Jandiroba is going to get the shot. Please, God, don't give Verna that shot. Fuck off, Verna. Or Tatiana is going to get the shot, which I think is going to happen. Somebody informed me in the comment section of my community tab that Yan Xiaonan is, or not Yan Xiaonan, Tatiana is next at UFC 312. Please be right. Please be true. Because if it's true, I'm going to look like a genius, and everyone who made fun of me for this theory owes me an apology. I said this was the UFC's ploy. Lying about a Tatiana injury, pulling her from the Verna fight so that they can get her the Weili fight. But again, she put on an absolute striking clinic, defended the takedowns. I knew this would be an easy fight for Yan Xiaonan. As far as what's next for her, I'd say make the Verna Jandiroba fight and put it on the same card as Tatiana Suarez against Zhang Weili. But if they screw Tatiana over, make Tatiana versus Yan Xiaonan so Tatiana can get an easy win and then further stake her claim for the next title shot. Another good option could be an Amanda Lemos fight. I think she'd win that easily. As far as Verna, I'm kind of worried Verna might wrestle fuck her. But I like Yan Xiaonan. I'm actually a Yan Xiaonan fan. She's dope. Great striker. And she might still have a bright future in this division. Like, if she can keep working on that grappling, there's a chance she could, like, as long as Tatiana doesn't touch the belt, she could potentially change the outcome of a potential Weili rematch. And let's talk the main event. Petr Yan, Cooks, Davis, and Figueiredo. Great performance by Petr Yan. Amazing performance by No Mercy. Put on an absolute clinic. 150-45, which, I don't really agree with that. I don't agree with the 50-45. But let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So the fight starts. Davison shoots for a double leg, and he hit a beautiful double leg to a body lock trip transition. And I'm like, oh shit, there it is. He's on the ground on top of Petr Yan. This is where Figgy's dangerous. So I got worried. And Davison Figueiredo was looking for a choke. And Davison Figueiredo, he's the kind of guy who can get guillotines from the most awkward, weirdest positions. I mean, look at him against Alex Perez. Alex Perez was on the back of Davison Figueiredo, I think. And then in a scramble, when it looked like Davison was trying to get up, immediately Davison's on the guillotine. So I was like, no, Petr Yan, watch the neck. He could either get a rear naked or a ghillie. But I said this in the lead up to this fight, in the breakdown. I said Petr Yan has amazing submission defense. He survived 2 straight rounds with Aljamain Sterling on his back, looking for a rear naked choke. Usually if Aljo gets your back, you don't survive. And Petr Yan lived to tell about it. So I'm like, okay, if Aljo couldn't finish him on the ground, I don't think Figgy will be able to finish him on the ground unless he's hurt. Which we're going to get to that part of the fight later. But thank God he survived. He fought the hands, reverse position, ended up on top of Davison Figueiredo. Controls that round, wins it 10-9. And then round 2, he's absolutely cooking Davison Figueiredo on the feet. The commentators were acting like, Davison won round 2 because he, slightly stunned Petr Yan in the second round, which I wasn't seeing that. I think he caught his attention. I don't think Yan was hurt, so I thought Yan was up 2 going into round 3. And round 3, this was part of my prediction. I thought Figgy might have a leg up in like the first 2 rounds. That was my prediction, that round 1, Figgy might start strong. Round 2, he might continue that success. That's usually how Petr Yan fights go. But I did say by round 3, Yan was going to start cooking. And was I wrong? I was not wrong. Petr Yan went out there, and I mean, oh my gosh, Petr Yan started landing these uppercuts, the same uppercuts that he landed on Song Yadong, the exact same shots that stunned Song, that he kept nailing him with. And one of those uppercuts, he dropped Davison Figueiredo. Davison, I think, went for a takedown, and then Petr Yan hit him with an uppercut. Davison went down, but Davison Figueiredo wasn't like badly hurt. It was like a flash knockdown. Petr Yan follows him to the ground. Dios de Guerra was able to like hold Figueiredo in his guard, control posture, and then get up, survive. But Yan just kept nailing him with that uppercut. He kept nailing him with that uppercut over and over. And he was stunning Figgy. I'm like, yo, he might knock Figueiredo out in this round with those uppercuts. But Figgy has a good chin. He ate those shots like a champ. He was going absolutely nowhere from those shots. And then we get into round 4. Boy, I could not be more nervous, okay? Because watching that fight, look, it's MMA. And I know as a hardcore fan, literally anything in this sport can happen. You can be up on the cards. You can be dominating an entire fight. The fight's not over until it's over. So watching that fight, I was on edge. I was not comfortable. I was not like, yeah, Yan has this. He's totally just gonna carry this fight to a decision. I was scared because Davison Figueiredo showed great cardio. He looked powerful every single round. And Petr Yan was cooking Davison in round 4. And then out of nowhere, Davison Figueiredo drops Petr Yan. And I'm like, oh no, sweet Jesus, please do not let Petr Yan get finished in a fight where he's looking phenomenal. Please don't let him get finished. Please don't let him get knocked out. But like I said in the build-up to this fight, in my prediction, I said that Petr Yan, even if you hurt him, Yan has amazing recovery. You hurt him, he will get back up. And he'll collect his bearings, and he'll keep moving, he'll keep going forward. Like, you have to kill this guy to stop him. And Davison just was not able to separate him from consciousness, but I was still worried. My heart rate was up. But Yan survives round 4. And that's, this is why I didn't agree with the 50-45. I thought Figueiredo clearly won round 4 with a knockdown. Round 5, you could argue that Davison won that round as well, but I thought Yan had that round. I thought he won round 5, but he didn't win round 5 as impressively as he won the first 4.5 rounds before the knockdown in round 4. He looked like he was still kind of recovering from getting dropped. He looked like he was coasting a little bit. He was still putting hands on Davison, putting feet on Davison, slapping him with his shins to the ribs and the legs. He was still doing work, but he just wasn't doing as impressive work as he was in like the first 3 to 4 rounds in the 5th round. But thank God the fight goes all 5. Figgy does not get a comeback finish like I was worried about. And Petr Yan is undefeated in Big 24. 2024, Petr Yan is undefeated, 2-0. He's 2-3 in his like last 5 fights. But it just feels so refreshing to see Yan string together back-to-back wins. This should have happened like years ago. I thought he won the second Aljamain Sterling fight, but whatever. To be the champ, you gotta beat the champ. And I guess Yan made it too close, so he doesn't get that decision. He clearly beat Sean O'Malley. That should have been his bounce-back win into a trilogy title shot with Aljo. He loses to O'Malley, and then he gets fed Merab, the worst possible stylistic matchup you could give him, gets completely dog-walked. And I thought he may never be the same after that beating. But then he comes back, and he beats Song Yadong, he beats Figgy. And now we can all shut the fuck up about Petr Yan being overrated or him only being able to beat like old men or cans. Because I remember there was a narrative like that on Petr Yan where everyone was saying, oh, he can't beat top tier guys in their primes. He's only known for beating old Aldo and old Faber and low level cans. But now he has wins over Corey Sandhagen, which was a good win. Aldo is still a good win, which aged pretty well since, apart from the Mario Bautista loss. And then he has that win over Song Yadong, a young, dangerous up-and-comer. Dominates Song Yadong. Figueiredo was on a run. He was on a run in the bantamweight division. He was killing it at bantamweight. 3-0. Looking good, looking like he was about to make a title run, and Petr Yan halted that. So Petr Yan has a good resume, okay? He's got wins now over Song, Corey, and Figgy. Those are valid wins. Aldo is a valid win. And he should have beaten Aljamain Sterling. I know I'm coping. I picked him in both Aljo fights. He should have won the first fight. He wins that without the illegal knee. All it took in the second fight was just one more judge to score it in Yan's favor. Should have beat O'Malley. The Merab one, there's not much you can do about it. Merab was just better. And honestly, Merab should have been the only man in the UFC to defeat Petr Yan. And now let's talk about that Merab rematch call-out. Because Petr Yan calls out Merab. He wants that smoke again. Because Merab was he was eyeing a potential Davis and Figueiredo fight. And Petr Yan played spoiler. And Yan wants that get back. And Merab is down. Does he beat Merab though? Look, I am a Yan fan. I love Petr Yan. But I don't know if he can beat Merab Dvalishvili. There are just certain styles you just cannot beat. Styles make fights. And I feel like Merab Dvalishvili is Petr Yan's kryptonite. Okay? He completely swept Yan on the scorecards in that last fight. Like, I just can't see what Yan will do differently. Yeah, he can defend a lot of takedowns, but Merab Dvalishvili has a volume output advantage. He's a faster starter. And he has that unrelenting pressure that's just not going to allow Petr Yan to get his game going. Petr Yan is a slow starter who needs time to set things up, to figure out his plan of attack before he really gets going. That's why I said Figgy was like the perfect matchup for himself, because Davison is kind of like that too. Davison doesn't pressure like that. Davison doesn't put together that many combinations. He waits for that one big burst. So that allowed Petr Yan to figure him out, get his timing, and piece him up. But with Dvalishvili, Merab is going to put the pressure on him, put the combos on him, and blend that in with his wrestling. And Yan, even though he can stop the takedowns, he still has to worry about the takedowns. And Merab Dvalishvili is going to fight the way he fights every single round without getting tired. He's going to keep putting pressure on Yan, keep spamming takedowns on Yan, and it's just going to be every single round of Petr Yan not being able to get offense going because he's not given a chance to download the data against Dvalishvili. And another problem with Petr Yan against Merab is Yan just doesn't have the finishing ability anymore, it seems. Like, Yan used to be a finisher earlier in his UFC career. He has not gotten a finish since Jose Aldo in 2020. And it shouldn't have been a surprise that he finished Aldo. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I picked him to finish Aldo, but Aldo just has a horrendous gas tank. So he got tired and he quit in that fight. And that's why Yan was able to finish him. But then you see guys like Corey Sandhagen who don't get tired, who can keep up with Petr Yan for 5 rounds. Aljamain Sterling kind of got tired in the first fight, a little bit in the second fight, but not to the point where like he was about to get finished kind of tired. And if without that illegal knee, Petr Yan was going to take him to a decision and win a decision. And Petr Yan couldn't finish Aljo in the rematch. Couldn't finish Sean O'Malley. And couldn't finish Song Yadong or Davison Figueiredo. So how can he not finish? How can I expect him to finish Merab when he couldn't finish his last several other wins or couldn't finish those close fights that he lost? And he couldn't even hurt Merab Dvalishvili last time. And Merab is so tough. And I feel like to beat Merab, it's going to take knocking this guy out. You have to kill Merab to stop him. You have to get him out of there. Okay, you can't beat him by decision. The only guy who I can maybe see taking Merab to the scorecards and winning is Umar Nurmagomedov. He might be that guy. He might be the chosen one. I don't think it's going to be Petr Yan. Unfortunately, Yan will never be champion again as long as Merab is on top. And Merab will just probably 50-45 him again. I know Yan was kind of compromised in that fight. His leg was hurt early in the fight. He had a knee injury in that fight. So that did kind of affect him. But we also got to credit Merab for what he was able to go out there and do to Petr Yan. He shut down Yan's game. And I just think he's going to do it again. Look, if O'Malley beat Merab and was still champion right now, I would be more confident in Yan's chances at getting that one back. If Aljamain Sterling beat O'Malley and was still in this division, was still the champion right now, I would be confident that Petr Yan could win a trilogy right now with the Aljo at 135. But Merab, yeah, he's a different breed, different animal. But if the fight does happen, which I hope it doesn't because I know Yan will lose again, I will be rooting for Petr Yan. I hope he can pull it off. I hope he can get that belt back. But I think the fights to make after this fight, I think for Figgy, for his case, make him versus Corey Sandhagen, both coming off losses. I think that's a winnable fight for Davis and Figueiredo. And as far as Petr Yan's concerned, I'd say do Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley 2, 5-round co-main event to Umar Nurmagomedov versus Merab Dvalishvili. And then winner of that gets the winner of Umar Merab. Or if O'Malley gets his rematch, you can easily make Umar Nurmagomedov versus Petr Yan in a title eliminator. But I don't want to see Yan get a title shot right away. I want to see if Petr Yan can string together. I want to see if he can kind of even out that 3-fight L streak with a 3-fight win streak. Solidify yourself with 3 wins in a row. And make yourself undeniable. And then he can fight for the title. But again, amazing performance by Yan. I couldn't be happier. With that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.